Hello, Oak Valley parents, families, and community. I wanted to take this time to review our reopening information and our distance learning plan that we have for your children. We will start school August 12th, and our learning format is going to be distance. And until the state determines that we are off of the county health watch list, I should say, we will have to stay distance learning. At any time I get any inclination that we might be moving towards a traditional or hybrid format, I will definitely be in contact with you. I will try and stay as transparent as possible and communicate with you as frequently as I possibly can as I get new information. By all means, if you ever need to email me or call, feel free to do so if you have questions, or Mr. Baxter, our principal. But our office will be open from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday if you ever need anything. I wanted to review the instructional minutes. They have changed this school year now. Kindergarten will have 180 minutes per day, first through third grade 230 minutes per day, and fourth through eighth grade 240 minutes per day. And this is a decrease from the traditional school year, just so you're aware of that. Now, first and foremost, I just want to review very quickly health and safety guidelines to remind you to consistently be doing these things so that we can move our community forward in reducing those COVID illnesses so that we can move to a traditional or hybrid program as soon as we possibly can. So reminder, please, not only for yourself, but teach our children to wash their hands at least 20 seconds, and use hand sanitizer as frequently as possible. Again, wearing that face covering over your mouth and nose while you're around people will also help. And coughing into your elbow or your arm, or sneezing into your elbow or arm is going to help as well. And of course, social distance, 6 feet apart from people, and try and clean and disinfect your touch surfaces as much as possible. Now, if you do come to visit Oak Valley, I do ask that if you have been around anyone that's been out of the country for 14 days, to please quarantine yourself and not come to the school, and not come to the school until after those 14 days. And if you've been around anybody, or if you've been out of the country, to please do so for self-quarantine for 14 days. Any visitors need to report directly to the office, sign in, please use a mask. We have hand sanitizer available. And if you would like to see the full Oak Valley safety guidelines that I sent out probably about a month or so ago, that's on our website as well. Please refer to that if you want to see all of the changes that we had in place for our school site so that we could keep our children and staff safe. So that's all in the safety guidelines. So that's on the website if you'd like to review them further. Okay, so we're going to start off the school year with parent conferences. I think it's vital that the teachers, one, meet their new students, and students meet their new teacher for the year so they don't miss out on that opportunity. So you will be getting a phone call from your child's teacher to set up that time. And if you don't feel comfortable coming in, we can always do a Zoom meeting with you. But just know that if you do come in, we will make sure that we're abiding by those social distancing guidelines and all the other health and safety guidelines, such as masks and sanitizer and so forth. But we really want our teachers to meet their students and the family so that they can give you the first day of school paperwork that we always have to fill out. We would give you a Chromebook if your child needs it. We also have hotspots for certain families who are not connected to the internet, so we have those available. The teacher at this time during the parent conferences is going to really review all of the online platforms they're going to use for their instruction. So this is a good time to learn about what those platforms are going to be and ask questions of your teacher. The teacher is also going to review any of the progress monitoring or reporting that we're going to do for you. I think it's important that we frequently give you a report of how your child is progressing. So we're hoping to do that monthly. So they'll review that, and they're going to review the attendance requirements, which has changed a lot from previous semesters. So once we have our parent conferences, that'll go through the 21st of August. We're going to have some virtual learning practice. So August 24th through the 28th, this is a time where your child can practice getting online, visiting those platforms that require them to watch maybe a video, turn in an assignment. And we're going to practice doing this until the 28th, and we're going to hopefully get out any kinks that we need to get out. I call this our onboarding time. We're going to perfect our virtual learning platforms. The state of California is not requiring us to actually take attendance until September 1st. So this flexible time, I call it, between the 12th and the 28th is really going to be a nice, give us a breather to learn how this new environment is going to work. So we look forward to meeting with you and your children. Now, there's a huge difference between last spring and what we're going to see in August. And I really want to make sure that you understand that in the spring, we had an emergency situation. We were sheltering in place. Children were held harmless for their attendance and their schoolwork. And there was a lot of paper packets. What you're going to see August 12th or September 1st, I should say, is going to be a lot more rigorous, and it has a lot more frameworks around it. So SB 98, which is Senate Bill 98, provided us the guidance that we needed and some requirements that we need to abide by. So one of them is the attendance and the student engagement. Your child has to be online and working every day, and not only have a live communication with the teacher, but which is synchronous learning, but also have asynchronous learning where they have certain activities that they have to do within the day. Now, it doesn't mean they can't do it at 5 o'clock when you get home from work, but they can do it any time of the day and turn it in, but they're going to be held responsible for doing that work. And the teacher will be recording their attendance, which would be completing those assignments and meeting with the teacher live. We are going to have internet and computers available for all families who need it. And the curriculum and the instruction that's going to be provided, 1, has to be rigorous. 2, has to be standards-based. It's as if, it has to be equal to as if they were in person. So the teachers have been going through some trainings on what does a virtual lesson look like that is high quality. And I'm very proud to let you know that all of the teachers will have had that training, and we are going to get better at this. And I expect that not only of my teachers, but I expect the students to rise to the occasion as well. So assignments are equivalent to time. So those instructional minutes that I talked about in the last slide, If it is an assignment that the teacher feels should take the student 20 minutes, then it's 20 minutes of instructional time. If the teacher is live with the student for 10 minutes, that's part of those instructional minutes for the day. And that is up to the teacher to determine. The other requirements of SB 98 is that we have daily communication with the parents. So you will be receiving a phone call if your child did not participate that day. And the same truancy laws will fall into place. After 3 days of not participating, you will get a truancy letter, and it will go through the SARB process. Now, we also will make sure that we meet one of the requirements of providing academic and socio-emotional supports. So all of our students who are intervention, special ed, EL, or need counseling, we will make sure that they are assigned small group instruction that goes above and beyond their instructional day, so that they are getting the help that they need. Now, so daily instruction is, like I said before, includes the live synchronous and the not live, the asynchronous. So the live synchronous it can't be total classroom, all on Zoom, but as we all know, that can be very cumbersome and distracting. So I'm encouraging the teachers to do small groups and times that would be accommodating for families, because not everybody can get online at the same time. So during the parent conference, it's really important that you're letting the teachers know of when the best time for your child to be live online is, so that they can help try and coordinate those times to be very accommodating. Now, there is weekly instruction that needs to take place that we have daily requirements of teaching our core, but we also have weekly instruction requirements that will be about 2 or 3 times a week. Could be your science, history, PE, our intervention groups, and those will all be coordinated with your classroom teacher. And you'll get a kind of a calendar or an agenda of what your child's day is going to look like and consist of. But remember that asynchronous instruction, it can happen any time of the day. It can happen at 10 o'clock at night. It can happen at 6 a.m. It just has to be done within that day and recorded so that attendance can be recorded. Now, the progress monitoring of your students' learning is very important to me. So we have daily and weekly formative assessments that are going to be asked of your child to take. And we're using platforms like IXL, which has diagnostic programs to assess math, reading, and so forth. We also have, we're going to use writing journals because we still need to write paper and pencil. It's still very important. So we want our children to be writing. Quizzes, tests that will be given to your children. We're still going to try and do the guided reading program virtually. I'm looking into seeing if I can bring maybe children in one-on-one with their teacher to do some formal assessments of reading so that we can make sure that we're staying on top of their needs. But I have to see if I can do that still with the health department and so forth. So that will be, I'll communicate that with you as soon as I know. But we also have not only daily and weekly assessments, we have tri-annual assessments of our content of ELA, math, writing, and reading. So we'll still try and do that 3 times a year this school year, crossing our fingers that we can do that in person. But again, I'll let you know if we have to do it virtually or not. And most importantly, I want a report to you monthly. So I'm going to ask the teachers to give you a progress monitoring form that's going to show how your child's progressing in the content areas as we move through this school year. I think we need to report that more often to you because we don't want anybody to fall through the cracks. So we're really going to need your support, parents, to really look at that and make sure that they're doing the work at home. Now, like I said, students will be given technology if they need it. We have every child receiving a Chromebook if they need it. We also have approximately 75 families that do not have internet connectivity at home, so we're working on getting them hotspots. Every student and parent's going to be required to fill out that technology use agreement, making sure that it's going to be used responsibly. And you are responsible for those Chromebooks and hotspots when they go home to you. They do need to be returned at the end of the year. Now, Pro Youth, the HEART program, which is our after-school program, is actually offering day camp for essential workers' children. So they're going to be using the site in the back of the campus where they normally have HEART. They're going to use about 5 or 6 classrooms and be able to have day camp to provide supervision for children of essential workers. The registration form is online, and there was a teleparent that went home to tell you that you can fill that out, and it's due August 7th. So if you could either print it out and email it back to me or bring it to the office, please do so. I am not in charge of that program, so we will give it to Dr. Marie Pinto, who is in charge, the CEO of Pro Youth, and she will decipher the registration forms to see who is eligible, and it depends on how many kids they can actually have in each classroom for social distancing purposes. So I do not know how many kids they're going to take. All I know is that they're going to look at essential workers first, and they'll be contacting you. It will start early in the morning, I'm assuming about 7:30 to about 6 o'clock at night. During the day, they will be supporting your child's education by having them get on to those, live interaction with the teachers through Zoom, working on their schoolwork. So they will support that. At 3:15, they'll go ahead and start their normal after-school program that they usually have, and which is has a different agenda. Now, nutrition, the cafeteria, we will still be providing you with breakfast and lunch every day, every child. It's going to be grab and go meals. So you're going to be able to pick up once a day between 11:30 and 1 today's lunch and tomorrow's breakfast. What's different from last spring is that now it's only for Oak Valley students. So during parent conferences, your child will be getting an ID card. Those ID cards have to be present in order to get food during that distribution time. So make sure you always have that in the car so that when you go through, they will be scanned, and we have to turn into the state an actual number of which Oak Valley students utilize the food pickup. So that is the end of my presentation, an update on how we're going to move forward with reopening and how we're going to manage our virtual instructional program. By all means, it's not perfect, but we are working really hard to make sure that we provide you with your children with a instructional program that has integrity and rigor, standards-based, and has high expectations for students to participate and engage in the work daily. And I really, really need your support on all of that. But more importantly, we can't wait to meet you and your children during parent conferences. So I look forward to a new school year. Mr. Baxter and I are missing people and missing seeing everybody, and we will be here for you, and we'll get through this together. We're all in this together. Take care.